Now, small enterprises, especially those led by black women, struggle to get funding. Experts say that a meaningful recovery from the COVID-19 crisis, which affected many enterprises, must consider the needs of women. They say if left unattended, this could set back gender equality efforts by decades. Let's discuss this further now with Anne McMikel. She is the Executive Director of Shared Interest. Good afternoon, Anne. Welcome to today. Why is it that women still struggle to attain or access funding today?
Thank you, Dan, for having me on your show. And I'm so pleased to be here to talk about such an urgent topic. If we are to talk about a full COVID-19 recovery, we have to be talking about economically empowering women, particularly women who own businesses that will be critical to a full recovery. Why? It's simple as we don't have the access necessary for small and medium-sized enterprises, particularly those owned by women, to be able to scale their businesses, to be able to work meaningfully with financial inclusion providers, and to be the solution for what we need to see on the ground, which is job growth and sustainable development.
Now, your organization, Shared Interest, has done a lot of work and research in the region, our region of Southern Africa. Have you found that social norms, for example, and laws, maybe they might just play a role in the disenfranchisement and enfranchisement of our women entrepreneurs?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Shared Interest has been doing this work for close to 30 years. And what we try to do is unlock local capital solutions through our nonprofit guarantee fund. And the reason we do that is because we want to be a part of locally grown solutions to issues that impact every society, every part of the world. But here in South Africa, we see that there are some real unique opportunities because there's such a rich entrepreneurial spirit here. And so the more that we can tap into that spirit by removing barriers and helping to see pathways to full and inclusive development, I think the more we'll be able to unlock the potential that is so rich in South Africa. And so what we've seen is over the years, we've been able to use our guarantee fund to unlock capital that results in 4 times the access to capital for the businesses that we support. And so the norms around how we can start to work with Black women entrepreneurs, along with financial inclusion providers, I think there's some real opportunity for us to work in partnership because we all want to see job growth. We all want to make sure that youth are employed. And at the end of the day, we want to be a part of what it will look like for climate change and green jobs. And women are uniquely positioned to have those solutions. First of all, they have to take care of their families. They often know where there's some gaps in where the needs are. And they have some really creative, efficient solutions for being able to run a business in their communities because they have an invested interest in making sure that their communities grow and thrive. And so we're really excited about how Shared Interest can be a part of what will need to be a whole of government, whole of public-private sector engagement, but that puts small and medium-sized enterprises at the center of the solutions as opposed to them being on the periphery. And right now, unfortunately, COVID-19 has exacerbated what has already been a challenge for these businesses to not be financially included into the systems that are critical for them to be able to thrive and grow.
Yeah. How do you achieve financial inclusion? What are your thoughts, Anne? How do you achieve financial inclusion in a world where, for example, traditional funders like banks are still requiring collateral, which many Black women might not even have because they don't have any assets?
Yeah. I think that that's a real challenge for any of the business sector to grapple with. At Shared Interest, what we've tried to do is de-risk the capital that is necessary for Black women entrepreneurs to grow. What does that look like? The Shared Interest Guarantee Fund has the capability of covering up to 75% of the risk. So we want to incentivize local financial institutions to take a journey with us so that we can help to both learn and unlock access to capital. And through this unlocking of capital, we, for instance, have been able to provide about $30 million of loan guarantees that have unlocked close to $131 million in Southern Africa, ultimately benefiting 2.3 million disenfranchised communities, many of whom are women. And so we feel like we've got an important tool in the tool case that can be scaled up. And the name of the game, however, is to make sure that we are having discussions with all players so that we can create an ecosystem for the kinds of businesses that are the heart and soul of a community. SMEs are responsible for some 90% of jobs in their communities. And so we have to be centering our solutions on the very businesses that have unique solutions to some of the challenges that we're experiencing today.
Yeah, beyond shared interest, I mean, when you look at the global picture, financial inclusion sometimes is defined very narrowly from what we were saying a short while ago about just you got an account, you've opened a transactional account with a bank, and maybe got a bit of funds in there, therefore you are financially included. But that's not the sum total of financial inclusion. Cannot be.
Yeah, I think we have to redefine what financial inclusion looks like. You know, most banks require, as you rightly put, collateral. Many of our Black women entrepreneurs and SMEs don't have the formal collateral that's necessary. So let's start looking at, you know, can we look at other sources that demonstrate a business's health? So we don't necessarily require that our businesses own land. We do, though, require that they've been able to demonstrate some kind of a track record for the businesses that they do run. So I think we do have to be willing to redefine what financial inclusion requires, what capital needs are required for these kinds of businesses. Movable collateral registries, for instance, is a really important way that we can move away and shift away from the requirement of land and using other forms of collateral to be able to demonstrate to the banks that these are bank-friendly, bank-worthy clients. And when we do that, we are actually opening up markets, and we're also able to work alongside financial inclusion providers to see, you know, let's look at our criteria, let's look at the required criteria and see where it is that we can be level setting for the kinds of businesses that have to be solution providers. They have to be the ones that can say with authenticity and with some real street cred that they have the ability to scale and grow. They know where their businesses can head and lead. And if we listen to them more meaningfully and remove the barriers that keep them from being able to see their businesses grow, then we can go a long way towards empowering these businesses. These businesses want to be able to grow, but they also have to be listened to. And so we at Shared Interest, along with, you know, what we try to do in terms of the systems change that we want to see, is meaningfully work with our financial inclusion partners to say, how is it that we can be creative here with this cooperative that has the ability to grow food for their local community, but doesn't have access to the capital that will allow them to buy the equipment, for instance, that is necessary. I think each of these businesses has a real opportunity to grow if we were to, you know, sort of zoom out and see where it is that we as a community of stakeholders can meet them where they are and help them grow.
Thank you very much for your time. And McMikel, she's from Shared Interest, just talking about the fact that mostly businesses that are Black women owned are still battling to access capital for their growth.